Tensions are rising within the legal fraternity in Kiambu County after a dramatic incident at the Ruiru Law Courts sparked nationwide concern. Advocates under the Law Society of Kenya Thika Chapter are now threatening to boycott all court proceedings and government offices unless swift action is taken against rogue police officers involved in what they call a direct attack on the judiciary. The lawyers allege that on Friday, masked police officers in plain clothes stormed the Ruiru Law Courts, brandishing firearms and forcibly removing one Peter Kawanjiru, a youth leader, from the court cells, despite a valid court order barring his arrest. Hey! LSK Thika Chapter Chairperson Wanjiru Mwangi noted that Ruiru Chief Magistrate Hon Joseph Weri had clearly ruled against any attempts to arrest Kawanjiru, making the police operation not just unlawful but a grave violation of judicial independence. She said that this was not just an attack on a person but an attack on the judiciary. She added that they would not stand by as the courts were turned into crime scenes.
My name is Wanjiru Mwangi, the LSK Thika Chapter Chairperson. We, the Law Society of Kenya Thika Chapter, are alarmed at the rising cases of police abductions and excessive use of force. Of particular interest is the blatant broad-day abduction of Peter Kawanjiru, a youth leader affiliated to the DCP party led by the former DP, right at our own doorstep. This is despite the Honorable Chief Magistrate Joseph Were issuing orders expressly prohibiting the police from arresting him. It was therefore shocking that broad daylight and in direct contravention of the court orders and guidelines aforementioned, masked officers believed to be attached to the anti-terror police unit stormed Ruiru Law Court cells and abducted Peter Kawanjiru while threatening to open fire to anyone who stood in their way, including Kawanjiru's own advocate. In what can only be described as a scene straight from Hollywood film, officers can be seen firing carelessly in the air while Kawanjiru is hastily extracted from the cells and quickly bundled in a white Toyota hearse with obscure number plates before speeding off to an unknown destination. We cannot and shall not remain silent as the police continue operating in an illegal and vague manner as witnessed on Friday. We therefore demand for action from the said office within the next 24 hours from the release of this statement, failure to which we are prepared to call upon our Thika chapter members to boycott all courts and all government offices until the officers are identified, reprimanded, and legal and disciplinary action is taken against them jointly and individually.
The LSK Thika chapter is now demanding immediate disciplinary action against the officers involved, warning that failure to act will result in a total boycott of court sessions and government engagements within the region. In a strongly worded statement, the advocates further condemned what they termed as a worrying trend, where the executive and legislature appear to be conniving to undermine the rule of law and deny citizens their constitutional rights. The legal community is now watching closely to see how authorities will respond. Meanwhile, questions are being raised about the safety and sanctity of court premises in the face of such brazen acts.
Today we are here so as to condemn the terror that was unleashed upon citizens when attending to court. As our able chair has mentioned, we do trust the judiciary as the functional arm of government with which people interact with freely. And they only go there when there is recourse for justice. It is the judiciary arm of government that was attacked because we have guidelines that are there, and they are there for one reason and one reason only: to maintain safety of all people. It is therefore very important that action is taken so as to prevent any similar or even worse circumstances.
The Chief Magistrate Court number 1 in Ruiru had issued direct orders that stated specifically that Kawanjiru should not be arrested. What was done and how he was bundled into a vehicle, an unmarked vehicle, that is not even a government vehicle per se. We do not even know whether those plates are actually government. That is a government vehicle. Was so shameful. We are not going to stand for it. And if push comes to shove, we shall show that we as LSK Thika Chapter, through the national branch, national office, we have teeth when we can bite. We are not going to represent anyone. We are going to visit those offices. We shall not attend their courts. And the one thing that we are going to tell them, and we stand in solidarity as advocates, we as the LSK Thika Chapter are not going to approach any government offices until we get a proper explanation